We begin tonight with a reminder of who is now eligible to receive a vaccination in Alabama. People 65 and up, and teachers, according to both the State Department of Public Health and the Jefferson County Unified Command. We could also see grocery store employees, postal workers, and a few of the many essential workers get the vaccination, according to county health officials. With each vaccination site, there is a goal of immunizing 1,000 people every day. And Alabama is inching closer to herd immunity as the vaccination rollout expands.
But how long will it take to immunize enough people to end the pandemic? WVTM 13's John Papke crunches the numbers to see where we're headed.
Masking, social distancing, and vaccine tracking. How much longer will it last? To reach herd immunity,
we've been sort of thinking of this ballpark 70% because that seems reasonable with what we know about COVID.
With that in mind, here's where we stand now. 96,000 Alabamians have received their second vaccine shot so far. That's only 3% of that 70% threshold of 3.4 million. But help is on the way. A new plan to deliver shots at state Walmarts could offer about 70,000 additional monthly doses.
That's additional doses on top of what we would have normally gotten as a state allocation. So I think that's terrific.
Johnson & Johnson pledges to deliver 100 million doses of its one-shot vaccine nationwide by June. 1.5 million could come our way.
If we'd been giving one-shot doses, we'd be fully immunizing 100,000 people a week. That'd be a pretty good clip.
So when might we reach that 70% goal? Well, based on our current allocation plus the Walmart rollout, we could soon start averaging about 100,000 complete vaccinations per month. Add in that one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine, and that number could jump to 500,000. And if that formula holds, we could reach herd immunity as early as October. But Dr. Scott Harris says the pandemic is too unpredictable right now to schedule a finish line.
I can tell you there's not a date on the calendar. There's not a percentage of vaccinated people that either one give an answer to that question. The answer to the question is when the number of cases go down.
And with daily infections and hospitalizations declining, we're headed in the right direction. In Hoover, John Papke, WVTM 13.
As more people get vaccinated, there is concern about hospital supplies, which are already pretty tight. Alabama Hospital Association President Dr. Don Williamson says the mass vaccinations are putting facilities to the test.
I think running out of vaccine supply is both the best and the worst outcome. It's the worst outcome because obviously if you're out of vaccine, that means you can't give more. But it's the best outcome because that means a whole lot of people got vaccinated.
It's been nearly a year since the start of the pandemic. More than 474,000 people have been infected with the virus. Nearly 8,500 have lost their lives in our state. Putting infections into perspective, people between 25 and 49 represent the majority of infections, and children under 18 account for 10%. Although people older than 65 represent 17% of infections, they represent nearly 80% of COVID-19 deaths in Alabama. According to the State Department of Public Health, there were more than 2,300 cases reported within school districts this week. We're seeing some slide back into in-person learning. Central Alabama had some of the most cases this week. Jefferson County schools reported 70. Tuscaloosa County schools, 69 cases. Vestavia Hills, 33. Overall, Mobile County schools saw more than 110 cases.